Hey guys, what is up? It is the Fast Break Report here, bringing you guys another trade video because, well, a lot of things have changed in the past week. And the biggest change being that OG Anunoby got traded to the New York Knicks for RJ Barrett and Immanuel Quickley, which kind of changes things with the Pascal Siakam trade idea that everybody has, because I think now that this trade has happened, I feel like a trade to the Pacers for Pascal Siakam is just a lot less likely than it was before. Mostly because the one thing that we had plenty of that we could have offered Toronto for Pascal Siakam was a point guard. You know, it was an Andrew Nembhard or a TJ McConnell or, even a Jalen Smith or something like that. I just feel like now it's way less likely to happen because I have a feeling that Toronto is now less interested in anything that we have. They did get RJ Barrett, they did get Immanuel Quickley. Immanuel Quickley is a very good player, but now it's like if the Toronto Raptors want anything, it's going to be another wing player or another power forward or something like that, and I just don't feel like we have enough for them to be interested in that. I don't think they're going to be interested in Buddy Hield because Buddy Hield's a guy that I don't think the Raptors are confident that they can re-sign. So I kind of feel like a Pascal Siakam trade at this point is kind of off the table for the Pacers. I hate to say that because I think Pascal Siakam would be a very good player, but also the other thing here is the idea that even if the Pacers do trade for Pascal Siakam, there's no guarantee that he re-signs with the Pacers after we trade for him. So I've been trying to come up with some more realistic trades now that the trade deadline is quickly approaching. I have one trade at the very end of this that's very interesting, I think. I don't know how likely it is to happen because it involves the Nets, the Pacers, and the Lakers. But it's an interesting trade to say the least. But the first couple trades are trades that, the second one's a trade I've already went over at one point, but I'll explain why I like it even more now. But I figured these are three trades that I think the Pacers probably should do, before the NBA trade deadline. So the first one is actually very more likely to happen now than it was, I think, in months prior. And this is going to be a trade with the Oklahoma City Thunder. It's going to be Buddy Hield, trading. Why is my computer acting so slow? What in the actual fuck? Can we click on Buddy Hield, please? No, do not click his contract. I would like to trade Buddy Hield. Thank you. Buddy Hield to the Oklahoma City Thunder for Lou Dort, straight up. Listen, this trade's a little odd. I don't really know how much the Thunder would actually do this. But the thing is, we need defense, and the Thunder are looking for more offense, whether that is in the form of Pascal Siakam, whether that is in the form of Lauri Markkanen. I don't know what that looks like. But the fact of the matter is, we need to get younger if we trade Buddy Hield, and we also need to get better on defense, and if we can get somebody that shoots threes, that would be preferable as well. Lou Dort is shooting the three at 41% this year, which is a dramatic increase over what he's been doing in the past. And Lou Dort is a significantly better defender than Buddy Hield, and he's 24 years old where Buddy Hield is 31. However, the OKC Thunder are a team that I think are going to be buyers at the trade deadline. They have enough cap space where if they give us Lou Dort, they can take on Buddy Hield and maybe even offer Buddy Hield what he's looking for. Buddy Hield's a guy that I think the Oklahoma City Thunder would be able to keep too as well, because they're growing something really nice over there in OKC. They have SGA, who is arguably an MVP candidate this year, probably one of the top MVP candidates this year. They have Chet Holmgren, who is only going to get better. And the OKC Thunder are already a good three-point shooting team, but adding a guy like Buddy Hield to that roster, who is capable of going out and getting you anywhere from 15 to 20 points a night on a good night. I understand that now that he's, we're rumored to be trading him, he doesn't have the same role with the Pacers that it seems like he did last year. It seems like he's getting the ball less. But he's a guy that I feel like OKC would be very happy to get, because even though he's not a 20-point per game scorer, he's capable of giving you 20 points per game if you were to, say, take some shots away from SGA and give them to Buddy Hield or so on and so forth. And the idea, like Lou Dort has a decent contract. He's extended for 4 years. He's worth $15.2 million this year. We would free up $4 million in cap space in doing this. Lou Dort's younger, better defender, like I said. And I think, if you're the Thunder and you have the ability to acquire one of, if not the best three-point shooter in the NBA at the current point in time, I don't see why they wouldn't do this. I've seen people say that we would need to include a draft pick in this, because I did post this in the True Indiana Pacers fans group on Facebook. Some people were saying we would need to include a first-round pick. I don't think so. I think Buddy Hield for Lou Dort straight up is a solid trade that I think both teams would do. The Thunder are already a good defensive team, so they're not really worried about what Buddy Hield brings on the defensive end. I think they're worried about getting another guy that's capable of putting up 15 points per game, and Buddy Hield fits that mold. I think he's even capable of 17 if he's to start for them. And Buddy Hield's a guy who I would also think would get more shot attempts for the Thunder than Lou Dort did. Lou Dort is a stationary shooter where Buddy Hield is a movement shooter. Buddy Hield is way better at coming off screens. He's way better at just shooting, threes in transition and stuff like that. I feel like OKC would love to have him. And honestly, that's the type of team that's going to trade for Buddy Hield. It's going to be a contender. It's not going to be one of these fucking rebuilding teams or a middle-of-the-pack team. It's going to be a team that, has an ability to run for a championship in the next year or two, or a team that's going to go for a championship run this year but needs more shooting, or would like to have a dominant shooter. And OKC fits that mold. And, with the amount of cap space I think they're going to have, I feel like they'd be able to re-sign Buddy for whatever he wants. And that's the other reason I like this, is just the idea that they're going to have some cap space to work with as well. So that's the first trade, is Lou Dort for Buddy Hield straight up. And honestly, I like that better than the Luke Kennard trade I came up with a while ago too. I think Lou Dort fits better with what we're trying to do rather than Luke Kennard. Even though Luke Kennard would be a really damn good trade piece. He's a guy who can shoot the shit out of the basketball. Lou Dort is just the better defender, and I would almost prefer Lou Dort. And, honestly, at this point, I don't think the Grizzlies are going to trade Luke Kennard for Buddy Hield, because I feel like their season's kind of over, so, it really doesn't make sense for them to trade for Buddy Hield if they're not going to be making a championship run. So that trade is kind of out the window at this point. Even though they did get Ja Morant back, I'm really skeptical, if I could talk, of their willingness to want to trade a guy like Luke Kennard for Buddy Hield at this point, especially if they're not confident they can retain Buddy Hield if they don't go on, have a really high playoff seeding or have a deep playoff run. So that's the other side of it. So yeah, Lou Dort for Buddy Hield is seeming more like a more realistic move than Buddy Hield for Luke Kennard at this point. The next trade is a trade that I've went over before, and this is with the Cleveland Cavaliers, and that is going to be Myles Turner to the Cleveland Cavaliers for Jarrett Allen. What is going on with my computer today that everything is just not working right? Jarrett Allen. So this is a trade that I really like now. I know Myles has been playing better as of late. But so is Jarrett Allen. Jarrett Allen has been averaging a double-double, like a high double-double, like 20, 30-point double-doubles against some pretty significant teams the past 5 games. With the Cleveland Cavaliers, Evan Mobley and both Darius Garland have been sitting out. So this means their number 2 option at this point is pretty much Jarrett Allen. They're a team that's kind of middle of the pack right now. And I've said this before, I think Evan Mobley is better suited as a center. I don't think he will ever be a Kevin Garnett level power forward. He's got the defensive prowess to do it. I don't know if he'll ever develop the jump shot to do it. Honestly, they kind of have a log jam going on in the front court between Evan Mobley and Jarrett Allen because Evan Mobley can't shoot threes. So I kind of think that trading Jarrett Allen for Myles Turner at least provides the Cavaliers with a little more floor spacing. I understand Myles Turner isn't shooting the three well this year. He's shooting the three at like 33%. He's averaging like 17.5 and 7.5 a game, where Jarrett Allen has shown that as a starter and a guy who's given like a proper opportunity is capable of putting up, 19 and 17. Last night against the Wizards, he put up 19 and 17. His last 5 games have been fucking ridiculous. I think against the Milwaukee Bucks, he put up like 30 and 12. He had a 20-20 the other night, I think against Chicago, or against Dallas or somebody. Like, Jarrett Allen in the past 5 games that, Evan Mobley's been out and Darius Garland has been out, has been balling. And I'm just like, you know what? Jarrett Allen's 25, Myles Turner's 27. They're both 6'11". I just feel like these are two guys that if they swap teams would, benefit each team in their own light. And by the way, there's a reason for this trade. I understand that people are going to say Jarrett Allen can't defend the perimeter, and that's fine. But there's a reason this trade exists, and it's going to be for the very next trade that we go over. So, yeah, this is a trade I like for both teams. I also feel like the Pacers will never win a championship with Myles Turner as their starting center. I think a lot of people are starting to realize that. Like, it seems like this year people are starting to come around to realize that, like, Myles Turner is not really a good individual defender. He's a great rim protector, but when it comes to defending guys like Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, and stuff like that, he tends to get into foul trouble because his only way to stop them is to foul the piss out of them. Even against Andre Drummond the other night, it was like Andre Drummond had a solid night against Myles Turner when we played Chicago. So it's just the idea, Myles Turner. Even though I'm becoming a little more bullish on who he could be as a player, I just feel like we have traded every single fucking person that has been on this team that was from, the 2015, 2016 days, even 2012, 2013 days. Myles is the only one left. And even though Myles is the only one left, and I know he enjoys being a Pacer, I'm just not confident that we can win a championship or a ring with him as our starting center. I'm just not. And Jarrett Allen, he's 25. I still think he has room to grow. I like his contract. This is a trade you can do straight up. And, it works for both teams. Yeah, the Pacers might have to include a pick or two in order to make this happen, like maybe a first-round pick and a second-round pick, or just Myles Turner and a second. I don't know. But this is a trade that I really like for both teams. I think it works out really well. So that's the second trade. Now, the third trade is a real doozy. People have been on a Mikal Bridges thing recently, and I gotta be honest, this is a trade that the trade machine's gonna say fails, but only because of the salary increases. These guys, 2 guys that are included in this trade, cannot be traded until January 15th. So this trade is going to be between the Pacers, the Brooklyn Nets, and the Los Angeles Lakers. And this is a trade that allows every team to basically get what they want. There are going to be Pacers fans and maybe even Lakers fans who are like, there's no way the Lakers do this. There's no way the Pacers do this. And that's fine, but I've been looking at guys like Lauri Markkanen since Pascal Siakam, I think, is off the table. And it was like Lauri Markkanen or Mikal Bridges. And Mikal Bridges just seemed to make way more sense than Lauri Markkanen. Mikal Bridges is a guy that I think the Pacers have the ability to acquire at this point in the season. The Nets are not playing well. The Nets are officially they're 9th in the East with a record of 15-20. And they're not doing much better than Atlanta, so I have a feeling they're going to start fielding calls on guys like Spencer Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith and even Mikal Bridges. This is a team that, like, they have Cam Thomas, they have Cam Johnson. This is a team that I think is going to start, like, trying to see what they can get for the older guys on their roster, because it's pretty obvious that what they have now is probably not even going to get them a playoff spot. I'm not really sure. Like Toronto, after their trade, we have to see what they can be. But Brooklyn, I think, is going to find themselves on the outside looking in, especially when it comes to playoff time. They might make the playoffs as like a 10th seed or a 9th seed where they're currently at now. But I just don't think Brooklyn has the ability to be a definitive playoff team. And that's why I think Brooklyn's going to start fielding calls on these guys. So this trade is going to send Mikal Bridges to the Pacers. And from the Lakers, we're going to get Taurean Prince. The New Jersey Nets, the Brooklyn Nets are going to want Jarrett Walker. I think that's a given. Regardless, it's either going to be Jarrett Walker or Benedict Mathurin. And I feel like because they're trading Mikal Bridges, they're going to want somebody back who's decent defensively. I feel like Jarrett Walker is going to be the guy that they ask for, not Benedict Mathurin. So I have a feeling they're going to want Jarrett Walker because of what he could be if they just let him develop. Rui Hachimura is going to go to the Nets, and so is Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves is going to go to the Nets. Now, I know what you guys are thinking. There's no way the Lakers trade Austin Reeves. Even when I made this trade, I was kind of like, I don't know if the Lakers would come off Austin Reeves, but what the Lakers would get in return is Dorian Finney-Smith and a guy that they've longed for from the Pacers for a very long time in Buddy Hield. These are guys that I think that the Lakers could really benefit from. Dorian Finney-Smith's still a damn good defender. He's a good 3-and-D guy. And Buddy Hield's a guy that they've been after for a year and a half now. We have him. We got 1 year left. And Buddy Hield, if he gets to play with LeBron, I think will re-sign with them regardless of what the fuck he gets paid. I kind of get that vibe from him. And in order to make up for it, we are going to end up giving up picks. We're going to end up giving our 2024 late first round pick to the Nets and our our own 2024 first rounder to the Lakers in order to make up for the Austin Reeves portion of this. So if we try this trade, it's going to fail because of salary increases, which is perfectly fine. But, after January 15th, these guys can be traded. But this trade does work out on paper. The Lakers actually get better. The Nets get worse, which is something they're probably trying to do since they're playing for draft picks at this point. And we get Mikal Bridges and Taurean Prince out of it. This is a trade I like for all the teams involved. Obviously, I don't like giving up Jarrett Walker, and I'm not really sure what the Lakers' temperature is on Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves has been very good for them. But I feel like Buddy Hield and Dorian Finney-Smith kind of, and the first round pick, kind of make up for Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura. And also, like, Dorian Finney-Smith's just he's cheaper than Rui Hachimura, and Buddy Hield, while he's not going to come back for money cheaper than Austin Reeves, Buddy Hield is a guy that I think would really play well for the Lakers. Buddy Hield's a guy that, if the Lakers play an up-tempo offense, they like to get out and run. Buddy Hield's a guy, he's a movement shooter. You can put him anywhere on the fucking floor, and really that's what LeBron needs at this point is a lockdown shooter, or a knockdown shooter. And Buddy Hield fits the bill. Rui Hachimura is a good player. Austin Reeves is a good player. Jarrett Walker is a good player. Austin Reeves and Rui Hachimura are both 25, and Jarrett Walker is 20. The Nets don't have a 2024 first-round pick this year, but if you can give them that 2024 first-round pick via OKC, they get the worst of of all of those four teams, Houston, the Clippers, and Utah. It's probably going to be the OKC pick, so they'll get a late first-rounder from OKC. And the Lakers get that 2024 first-round pick from the Pacers, which is probably projected to be in the early to late 20s, which, Austin Reeves was a guy they found in the second round. So, honestly, I don't think this trade is horrible. It does, in some ways, make me wonder, what would happen with Benedict Mathurin. For all I know, we could not trade Jarrett, and you could throw Benedict Mathurin in here to the Nets as well, and that would work. That's a trade that is also very likely to be accepted, I think, being that, The Nets are looking to get younger, but this is a way for us to land Mikal Bridges and maybe give everybody what they want. You know, the Nets get young players, the Lakers get the experienced guys that they're looking for, plus a pick, and we get, you know, a 20-point per game scorer in Taurean Prince, who's 29 and on an expiring deal. So, anyway, tell me what you guys think about this down below in the comment section below. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions on this. A like helps me out. Subscribe if you guys want to see more. I'm the Fast Break Report, and I'm out of this motherfucker. Peace, guys.